Okay. Sorry. Uh, yeah, the introduction. Yeah, we'll start around, I think, 45th slide or 48th slide. I don't know. Yeah, this is the slides.
Doctor, is my screen visible?
Yeah, visible. Thank you, visible. Yeah.
Which slide?
This one, the same one, the blue one, basics of echo and normal variance. Yes.
This
Yeah,
one?
this is the one. The one you have just clicked.
Yes.
The same one. Yeah.
Good evening to each and everyone. We'll be starting the session at 4:35. We are expecting few more to join. Thank you. I would request everyone to mute themselves.
Ganga, shall I mute my one also? how to do it. Wine पर ये पेट की मेरे इधर है wine. हाँ सारे इधर है.
क्लास
Good evening, everyone. I'm thrilled to welcome you all for today's informative webinar on Basics of Echocardiography, Part 4. I'm Gagana Bellari, Manager at the American Academy, and it's my honor to introduce our speaker, Dr. Sumit David. Dr. Sumit David completed his MBBS in 2005, followed by clinical training at Francis Newton Hospital and a year in microbiology teaching at CMC Ludhiana. He earned his MD in medicine in 2011 and served as an assistant professor for 4 years before completing a DM in cardiology in 2018. He has since held key roles at Fortis Escorts, Amritsar, and IVE, and he is now HOD at Life and Arts Center, Jalandhar. We are delighted to have Dr. David here to share his insights. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Sumit David.
There were some disturbances there.
Yeah, I will go. Just give me a moment. Yeah, now there is no disturbance, doctor. You can.
We can start from 44th slide.
Okay, just give me a moment. Please unmute, doctor. Doctor?
Yeah, it's unmuted.
Yeah. Once again, we have completed the part one last month, doctor. That's why we are continuing with the
Yes.
part two with reference to
Yeah,
the
part two of the introduction. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, hope my
From
screen
the
is visible.
yeah, your screen is visible. So let's start actually. Very good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for all who have joined for the introductory session part two. Now, as you can see, this is the keyboard of the echocardiography machine. And if you can say ultrasound also looks about same with some changes. So in the center, you can see it's a cursor. Then you can see in the center the select button, right? And you can see the enter button, the menu part, and then the label part. On the left side, you see the M mode CW, that is continuous wave Doppler. We discussed it last time. Pulse wave Doppler CW, that is continuous wave Doppler, is for measuring the gradient of aortic valve. And the pulse wave Doppler is basically to measure the gradient across the mitral valve. Or you can do tissue Doppler imaging in the pulse wave Doppler, right? And then you have above, it's a keyboard, just to, if you want to type patient's entry, you have to do. And on the right side, you have the compensating gain buttons. If you move these buttons to the left side, the gain become less. If you move to the right side, the gain become more, and it becomes more brighter, right? And on the right side, you have acquire button. Acquire is basically what film you have made is basically it's to acquire that image on the screen or to save it. Freeze is when you have to freeze the film which is going on, right? That is, and 2D is to come again to the previous one. It's the 2D button, right? So, and the record is basically to record the film. So all these things are as simple. When you keep on doing it, then you will know, right? Next slide. Next slide, please. So instrument settings, I already told you the power output is there, which adjusts the total ultrasound energy delivered by the transducer. So power output is the main part from where the main power is coming. Gain is, I told you there is a place where a lot of buttons were there on the right side above. That is I'll show you the previous one afterwards. It's compensatory gain. And there's a small button, another gain is the simple gain is there basically to if you increase it, it become more brighter. If you decrease it, it become more darker. And time gain compensation is the upper one when where there are a lot of buttons are there. If you move it to the left side, it becomes more darker. Move it to the right side, the whole screen becomes more brighter. And depth, that button is also there if you want to make the image a little shorter, so move it downwards. If you want to make the image more larger, you can move it press the upper button. It's written there, the depth button. Okay, next slide. So I told you those 7, 8 buttons are there. If you move them to the right side, it becomes more brighter, And if you move all these buttons slightly, depending upon your adjustment to the left side, so it becomes more darker. So this is time gain compensation buttons. So you can adjust the gain and make it more brighter or more darker, depending upon your need. Next slide. So these are the position. This is the most important part, I'll tell you. So I'll try to start that next class with the videos, live videos. Sometimes I'll do in order you to make you more understand. So this is how left lateral position should be the main position. That is known as left decubitus position. Sometimes you can use supine position if the patient does not have chronic obstructive lung disease or asthma, and if the patient has hyperinflated chest, you can do the positioning with the supine position as well as flat. But if there is patient has hyperinflated chest, COPD, asthma, then make the patient lie down on the left side. So in this situation, what happens? The air moves on the other side and the heart comes in front, and you can able to visualize all the parts. So occasionally right decubitus position is needed sometimes, but usually the left decubitus position is the best position for you to do an echo. Next slide. So these are the positions, means it's a graphical presentation of the body. You can see that there's a view known as suprasternal view for aorta, just to see the aorta, right? Parasternal sometimes to see the descending or the ascending aorta, right? Apical also to see the RA, right? And the parasternal left side is the basic in which you can see the heart, the LA, the RV, the left ventricular, and I think the slides have got, I cannot visualize. And there's a apical also view is there in which you see the all four chamber. That is known as the apical four chamber view. And subcostal, you have to put the probe in the subcostal position in which you can see the septums, the RA and LA septum, the LV and RV septum, and all the vessels which are draining into RA and the LA. You can see in the subcostal view, right? Next slide, please. So this is what we see. So when you see the RA, what you need to see? In RA, you have to understand the anatomy. You have to visualize in RA inferior vena cava entering the RA. Even the SVC sometimes you see. So what echo approach should be there for the RA? Start with the subcostal approach. I told you that is subcostal level to define the RA. But you can see RA in other views also. But subcostal is the best view. For RV, you have to. How will you recognize RV? What are the anatomical features you can see in the RV? Means you can say yes, in this echo this is RV. Why? You will see the prominent trabeculations. You will see the moderator band. This is a small band-like structure, the fibrous band. It is usually seen in RV. The infundibulum, the tricuspid valve, as usual, you have to see the tricuspid because from RA to RV, you go through the tricuspid valve. Then you have to see the apical location of the annulus. So all these things are the apical features of RV. And how will you see the RV? Apical four-chamber view to compare annular insertion on the two ventricles. Parasternal for valve anatomy and infundibulum. So pulmonary artery, which you see at what all levels, you can see the pulmonary artery as short axis at aortic level, right? So this is another way, and apical fourth chamber also you can see. So all these views you can see for pulmonary artery. For LA, you have to see definitely in LA the pulmonary veins enters. So how will you see? That is in TE imaging. Usually you can recognize the veins which are entering in the LA, right? So LV, how will you recognize? Definitely mitral valve will be there, and LA and LV junction. And basal location annulus, fibrous continuity between anterior mitral leaflet and seminal valve. And apical four-chamber view is the best to see the LV and parasternal long axis and short axis. Right, from then aorta. Aorta give rise to aortic arch and arterial branches. So start with parasternal long axis is the first view which we do, and move transducer superiorly to follow the vessels to its branches. Okay, next slide. So these are the standard echocardiographic views which you do. So basically you have to mug up these views, then we'll see sometimes in the video sessions. So standard echocardiographic views, it is the parasternal long axis, parasternal short axis. We'll tell you how to do it. RV inflow, pulmonary long axis view. Apical, you have 4-chamber, 2-chamber, 5-chamber. Subcostal, you have short axis and long axis. And suprasternal, basically, I told you initially, it is for the aortic arch, just to seek coarctation or anything, which is there. Next slide, please. So plaques is parasternal long axis view, which I told you just before the slide. In this way, transducer position will be to the left sternal edge. You can see the pointer. If you can see the black pointer is there on the probe that is on the left, second, and fourth intercostal space, and the marker dot direction points towards the right shoulder. Okay, so marker is on the right shoulder, and the transducer position is in between the left, second, and the fourth intercostal space, right? So marker is also very important. So in this, the black marker, the line pointing to the right shoulder. This is so most echo studies begin with this view. So this is the first view, plaques or parasternal long axis view. It's sets the stage for subsequent echo views. From here, you go to the other views. Next slide, please. So next, so this is the parasternal long axis. Just see it clearly. This is how it is made. You have seen the marker is on the right shoulder, and the left, the transducer is between the second and the fourth intercostal space on the left side. Just holding. Yeah, please come to the previous one. Back. This is 52. Yeah. So this is how 52. The next one. Yeah. So examination through the base of the heart. So where is the base of the heart? So this is the plaques view or parasternal long axis view, as I told you before. So in this, you can see the 3 structures and 2 valves. Remember, 3 chambers in this and 2 valves. You can see and you can see the anatomical part also, and you can see the echo part also. You will see aorta, you see the mitral valve, an aortic valve, you see the LA, the left atrium, you see the left ventricular, the interventricular septum. So this is the, in between there's an interventricular septum is there, and the base part is where there is a inferior wall. So inferior wall and the muscles along with it is the base part, and the upper part is the RVOT, and in between the interventricular septum you have the RV, and aorta is between the RVOT and the mitral valve. So this is the aorta. From there it goes to the aortic arch. So you see the LA, LV, and mitral valve, then aortic valve, the RV and RBOT. So these are the structures you can see in the left parasternal log axis. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. So this is the plaques RV inflow view. So how will you make it? So I told you, we showed you how to make a plaques view. Plaques view is basically when the pointer is to the right shoulder, and it is between the left, the transducer left, third and fourth, second or fourth intercostal space. If you just keep the probe there only, and you move it, the upper part direction upwards, then you will get to know the RV flow view. Means how the valves come into the right ventricle. You can see the tricuspid valve here, the RA, you can see the tricuspid valve, the anterior leaflet of the tricuspid valve, the posterior leaflet for the tricuspid valve, the RA, the RV. You can see the SPC here, also here entering into the RA, and IVC also. Okay, and external weights, all these weights, all these vessels, you see the RV flow. So just remember the plaques view, how we did it, and just move the probe little upwards from above. Keep the transducer there, but the upper part, which is in your hand, just move it upwards. Then you will see the RBOT. So this is the RB inflow, right? Okay, next slide. So this is the apical four-chamber view, which you can make. Will come again to the same view again, which you can make while keeping the pointer on the left side. That is at the below the nipple on the left side. Right? Initially the pointer on the right side, just to make the plaques view. For this, we will come again to this view again, when you put the pointer on the left side of the patient below the left nipple. Then you can see the all four chambers, LA, LV, and there's a mitral valve, then interventricular atrial chambers, RA and RV, and tricuspid. And you can see in the RV, the pointer showing the moderator band. This is the classical description for the, it's a fibrous band, which shows that it's an RV. Next slide. Okay. Initially, we did the plaques view. Now it is P-sex view, that parasternal short axis view. How do we do that? Remember, initially in the plaques view, the pointer was to the right shoulder of the patient. Now from that view, if you move it slightly to the right side, on the left shoulder of the patient, the first view which will come, it's the P-sex view at an aortic level. Now just see the diagrams. At an aortic level, you can see the aorta there at the center, the LA below that, the RVOT up, and you can see the pulmonary valve with the pulmonary artery going into the bifurcation to the left and right pulmonary artery. Just close to that, you see the RA, the tricuspid valve, and the RVOT. And if you just move the pointer slightly more to the right side, then you will see the next level, that is at a mitral level. In this, you can see the mitral valve. We call it the fish mouth appearance, mitral valve. You can see the second diagram. That is the B part. And it has a anterior mitral valve leaflet and the posterior mitral valve leaflet. And you can see the RV also at this. And then if you move this P-sex view, this is the parasternal short axis, the pointer more towards the right side, then you see the mid-ventricular levels. Then you can see the vertical levels. That is the LV part. And if you can move more to the right side, you will see the apex of the heart. So this is how you see the short axis, the different areas. That is the aortic level, that is at the mitral valve level, that is at the mid ventricular level, then at the apical level. Next slide, please. So this is the aortic level, which I told you, the first one, which we do, the parastellar short axis. I told you now the pointer is toward the left shoulder of the patient. Initially for plaques, it was to the right shoulder of the patient. Now you can see the echocardiography image also, and you can see the diagram also. Here you can see the tricuspid valve with the center, that is the aortic valve, the pulmonary artery on the right side, RVOT up and laid down, and on the left side you can see the right atrium, the tricuspid valve. Right? Please move to the next one. Next one. Yeah, this is the one. So this is the P-sex short axis view at an aortic level. So you can see transducer position now has changed to the left sternal edge of the patient. There it was the right sternal edge in plaques. Again, second to fourth intercostal space. From you start from the plaques, keep on moving to the right side. Then you slowly see these levels. So the starting point is always plaques. Then you come to the P-sex. So marker dot direction points toward the left shoulder, 90-degree clockwise from the plaques. Just see, it is clearly written. It is 90-degree clockwise from the plaques view. Start from the plaques, go to the P-sex, 90-degree from the plaques view. By tilting transducer on an axis between the left hip and the right shoulder, short axis views are obtained at different levels, from aorta to LV apex. Next slide, please. The pulmonary artery bifurcation, as I told you, at P-sex at aortic level, same thing which we just saw, the previous diagram. In this view, on the right side, you can see the pulmonary artery valve, the pulmonary artery bifurcation. And if you come a little down, you will see the left and right pulmonary artery bifurcating. So this is the pulmonary artery short axis view. Same in the P-sex at the aortic level. The previous slide, which we just saw, just close to the right side of the aorta, you see the pulmonary artery bifurcation. Next slide. The short axis at a mitral level, I told you, from plaques where we moved slightly 90-degree right side, you see the aortic level, in which you can see the aorta and the pulmonary artery bifurcation. And if you move little more right side, means left shoulder, the pointer will be pointing to the left shoulder of the patient, and move from plaques to the right side. Keep on moving to the right side, then you will see short axis at the mitral level. Then you see the mitral. And if you see the mitral level, you can see the fish mouth appearance of the mitral valve there. Next slide, please. So if you move your pointer now more towards the right side, keep on moving. So you will see the mid ventricular levels. Then you see the ventricle, left ventricular and the right ventricle. And in between there is a septum also, you can see. And you can see the papillary muscles also. Anterolateral, posteromedial muscles, anterior wall, all these, basically the ventricular level you will see. And you keep on moving your pointer towards the right side. Your head it will be the right, and patient's will be the left shoulder. Next slide, please. So from the ventricular levels, if you keep on moving more towards the right, keep on rotating this from the ventricular level to the more towards the right side, then comes the LV apex. Then you can see the apex. So if you want to see the apex of the patient, this is how you do it. Now you remember the points. You start from the plaques, means the pointer will be pointing to the right shoulder. Keep on moving to the 90-degree. Then you will find the at the aortic level. Move again, pointer slightly to the right. Now you are going to the left shoulder of the patient. then you will see at a bilateral level, then move more right, then you will see the ventricle level, move more right, you will see at a apex level. This is how you do it. Next slide. So these are the views, P-sex, I told you. From Plex, you remember the pointer was pointing to the right shoulder of the patient. Move it 90 degree, you will see the aortic level. Here you will see the pulmonary artery and the RBOT. Then you move more towards the right. Then you will see the mid-ventricular level, the mitral level, and the apical level. On the upper photographs, you will see the RV inflow pattern is also there, right? And in the aorta, if you can see the middle photograph, photo, on the upper side, you will see the cusp, right coronary artery cusp and the left coronary artery cusp, and non-coronary cusp. These also arise from the aorta. So you can see the tricuspid valve of the aorta, and you can see these cusps also there. So sometimes it is possible to see these cusps. So coronary arteries arise from this aortic valve. Next slide, please. So next is the apical four chamber. This is the standard view which we have to see. So apical four chamber. So this is you can see the left atrium, right? Then there's a mitral valve. Then there's a left ventricle you can see with papillary muscles. Lateral wall is there. Interventricular septum, the apex of the heart. Also, you can see the four chamber. So you can see the on the other side, you can see the right atrium, the atrial septum, the valve, the aortic valve also in between. Then you can see the right ventricle. You can subsequently you can see the echo view also of the valve. Next slide, please. So this is apical five chamber. Initially, we show you the four chamber. If you remember, I told you, we'll repeat again the four chamber. So four chamber is basically the pointer is pointing towards the left shoulder of the patient, but in the transducer below the left nipple of the patient. Here, you can see the four chamber initially LA, LV, RA, RV. But if you move slightly the probe down, you can open the fifth chamber, that is the aortic, from aortic valve, from where the aorta is running. So this is now you can see the apical four chamber. If you don't see the aortic valve, you see the four chamber. That is apical four chamber. But if you slightly move the probe down, you can see the aorta. So LA, LV, RA, RV, and aorta. This is called basic transducer is angled anteriorly from the fourth chamber. Then you see the five chambers. Next slide, please. So this is apical fourth chamber, how it looks like. The fourth chamber is on the right side up. You can see. And if you move the probe slightly anteriorly, then you can see the fourth chamber. Means with the aortic valve. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is apical two chamber. Now remember, when you have made the apical four chamber, now remember the pointer was below the nipple, but was parallel to the clavicle. But now if you move the pointer just below, keep it below the nipple, slightly towards the nipple, the pointer, it becomes two chamber view of the four chamber. The upper one is the anterior wall, posterior wall is the inferior. So if you want to see if the patient has developed heart attack, that and if there is anterior wall MI, you will see the anterior wall weakness. And if there is an inferior wall, you will see the inferior wall weakness. So this is how you do it, right? So you can see the LA or LV also in between, right? So this is how what you see in the two chamber view. You can see the descending aorta as well in this view. Next slide. Now come to the subcostal view. As I told you, subcostal is a view which you put below the Ziphi. Now you just see the pointer. Pointer is pointing just parallel to the left nipple of the patient. But you keep below the Ziphi. So what all structures will you see in this? Next slide. So this is subcostal fourth chamber. So this is how what you see. In this chamber, again fourth chamber you will see, but at a subcostal level. Now you can see on the lower side, you see the LALV. On the upper one, there's a RARV. And you can clearly see the interventricular septum, interarterial septum, right? And all veins also you can see the veins SPC, IBC entering into the RA. And in the LA, you can sometimes you can see the veins also, and you can see the aortic valve also. This is again the fourth chamber, but slightly tilted view. This is good for the atrial septal defect. If you want to see the atrial septum between the LA and RA, there's a passage between them. Maybe due to ASD, maybe due to PFO. You can see from this view. Next slide, please. Subposterior short axis view to visualize IBC and hepatic veins. So this is another view in which you just keep the same view, the subcostal view, which we did, and slightly tilt it, and you can see the IBC. And you can see if there is IBC dilated, and IBC is collapsed, you can see, and you can again see the RA, RV, and the hepatic veins. So you can see the hepatic veins are in between the small area. The IBC is large. So in between the RA and IBC, slightly up, these are the hepatic, in between the liver. So this is what we see. Next slide. Subcostal grade, again, subcostal level, you can see the different vessels. Now you can see the pointer is pointing towards the chin, and you can see the different veins. You can see the aorta, right? And you can see the celiac artery, right? And they made the M mode also to see. So this is how you see the subcostal grade vessels. Next slide, please. Now, suprasternal long axis, this I told you, you have to keep the probe above the suprasternal notch. Now you can see the pointer is towards the left clavicle of the patient or the left shoulder. Here you can see the arch of aorta. You can see the descending aorta, aortic arch, and you can see the three vessels which bifurcates from the aortic arch, brachiocephalic vein, right pulmonary artery, and ascending aorta. So ascending aortic arch and descending aorta. This is how will you see. From here you can see different disease like coarctation, aortic dissection. You can see from this type of view also. Next slide, please. Now suprasternal view parallel to the arch of aorta. Now you have to see the suprasternal view, right? Parallel to the arch of it. From here again you can see the aorta, and from aorta the three vessels which bifurcates, right? And you can see the right pulmonary artery is down and LA is down. This is again the from aortic arch view. Next slide. So Christian Doppler from 1803 to 1853 is an Austrian physicist, mainly active in Vienna and Prague, discovered the acoustic and optic frequency shift into the relative source and receiver moment. That is a Doppler effect. So this is what Doppler effect is always there. Doppler is for the gradient, the color flow, and the gradient part is how Doppler do. So Doppler imaging, which we already told you, it is basic of three types. This is pulse wave Doppler, continuous wave Doppler, and color flow imaging. So two-dimensional echocardiography, right, and the Doppler. So the two-dimensional is basically to see the tissue, and Doppler is to see the blood flow. So for two-dimensional is to see the anatomy, Doppler is for the physiology. Type of information from two-dimensional structure, Doppler is for the functional. Optimal alignment between beam and target is perpendicular, and here it is parallel. Preferred transducer frequency high and low in Doppler. So this is specular scattered echoes, which we did previously also. So Doppler effect is the pitch of sound was affected by the motion towards or away from the listener. Sound moves towards the listener, frequency increases and pitch rises. Sound moves away from the listener, frequency decreases. Right? So Doppler shift is the increase or decrease in frequency due to relative motion between the transducer and target RBCs is known as the Doppler shift. This we did before also. Initially also we did this. So basically the pulse wave Doppler and continuous, I told you before, pulse wave Doppler is for doing the, to see the pulmonary artery Doppler view and the gradient. And pulse wave is also to see the mitral valve gradient. And continuous is for the aortic valve gradient. So comparison between the pulse wave Doppler and the continuous wave Doppler is the sample volume will be large in the continuous wave, and pulse wave it is small. Detection of high velocity, yes, for C wave, and for PW, no. Lysing is no, but in PW, yes. And spectral content wide, but it is narrow in PW. So this we did before also in the last class. So basically, just a nutshell, what are the optimizing color flow Doppler controls? The 2D or M mode image for the optimal Doppler beam alignment. Color Doppler, like all other Doppler techniques, is angle dependent, and parallel alignment is required for optimal color velocity. And use the narrow color scan sector to increase the frame rate, reduce lysing. And 2D echo is to see the anatomy, ventricular, valvular in a movement, position of M mode and Doppler echo. M mode is measurement of the dimensions, timing cardiac events. Pulse wave, normal valve flow patterns, LV diastolic function, stroke volume cardiac output. Continuous wave is severity of valvular stenosis, severity of valvular regurgitation, and velocity of flow in shunts. And color flow is basically assessment of regurgitation and shunts. So these are the normal variants which you see when you are doing an echocardiography, like right atrium, you can see Chiari network, eustachian valve, crista terminalis. This we can show you while we are doing left atrium. What are the normal variants? These are seen in the normal people. Suture lines, fossa ovalis, calcified mitral annulus, coronary sinus. So all these things are seen. And right ventricle, you can see moderator band. We told you initially also muscle bundle, rabiculations, catheters, and left ventricle, you can see the false cords, capillary muscles, trabeculations. Aorta, you can see brachiocephalic vein, nominate veins. So this is how the ventricle looks like. Eustachian valve, which is seen in the RA. Chiari network, which is seen in the RA.
Doctor,
Yeah.
can you please just see the screen? Are we with the correct slide?
Okay, I just went a little. This I all skipped actually.
Okay, which slide you're going now?
Just a second, I'll tell you. You come to 100 normal variants, that is 101. I skipped actually, we did before this.
Which one, doctor?
50, no, 101.
This one?
Yeah, this one. So basically, the previous one, the continuous wave Doppler and the other Dopplers, the Aliasing effect we did in the last class. So basically, the echocardiography views, you should know how to make it, as we told you. And normal variants you can see, which we can show you sometimes when we'll be doing the we will show you the live patients. So these are the normal variants. You can see the right atrium. You can see the carry network, eustachian valves, crista terminalis. Then in the left atrium, you can see the suture line, fossa ovalis, calcified mitral annulus, all those things. Then in the right ventricle, you can see the moderator band, the muscle bundles, the left ventricle. In the aorta, you can see the brachiocephalic vein and nominate vein. Next slide, please. So this is how different views looks like the plaques, the apical four chamber, which we showed you previously also. And above, you can see the different views, which we can see the LA view, the left atrial appendage you can see. And next slide. So ventriculars, how does it looks like? You can see the interventricular septum, which is thick on the left side. And right side again, you can see the moderator band is there in the RV, the RA and RV, the LA and LV is there, which is bigger. Next slide. So here also you can see, I think this is the two chamber view, most probably. From the fourth chamber, they have moved slightly to the two chamber view. Next slide. Same. So this is the eustachian valve in the RA. Next slide, next slide. Yeah, the eustachian valve in the RA. So it signifies that we are in the RA. Next slide. And you can see the RA, again, the eustachian valve you can see. So all in all the views, you can see the eustachian valve. This, I think this is the right one is the subcostal view. And you can see the IVC after the eustachian valve. Next slide. Again, this is the eustachian valve. Next slide. Again, same. These are the carry network. These are the normal variants, which you can see. This is the previous veins which have become fibrosed when the baby born after birth. Next slide. So crista terminalis, normal appearance in the RA. Yeah. Next slide. So this is lipomatous hypertrophy of the interatrial septum. Sometimes lipomatous hypertrophy, you can see the interatrial septum also as well. This is a normal variant. You don't need to worry about this. Next slide. Okay, so this is what basically this was a very important for you. Basically, if you get any chance to do an echocardiography, and you should know what are the different views in this introductory session which we did. So you, I think most of you now a little bit they came because we'll do an online session for the videos also. So daily I do 25 to 30 echoes per day. So we'll show you the videos as well. And we can practice that, the different views. So I believe you got a little bit of what we told you about the different views which we see. So next class will I'll let you know what we'll do, and in between sometimes we'll do half an hour or 45-minute session with different patients. We'll do that. So at least you will know what are the views. How do you do that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, doctor. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Before we conclude, we would like to open the floor for any questions you might have. Please feel free to type your questions in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them. Additionally, I'm dropping a link in the chat box for the certificates. Kindly please fill it out and submit it to get your participation certificates. I'm dropping a link in the chat box to subscribe our social media handles. Kindly do subscribe and follow us.
Gagana, can I leave?
Just a moment, doctor. I'm just waiting for any questions.
Yeah.
Sure. I think there are no questions. Thank you all for joining us today. We hope you found this webinar informative and valuable. If you have any further questions or would like more information, please feel free to reach out to us. Additionally, I've already dropped a link in the chat box for you to fill out and submit to receive your certificates of participation. Don't forget to follow us on social media for updates on future webinars and events. Have a great evening.